It's that time again. We gotta talk about how autism intersects with all other forms of disenfranchisement. Hi, I'm Dr. Bird. I'm a late in life realized autistic person who is queer, who is late in life realized, hyperlexic, and stilted speaking. Most of my life, I've been brushed off as if I'm just annoying as fuck and the bad guy for either, in the early part of my life, playing into every form of discrimination that this society has to offer. And then in the latter part of the last 15 to 20 years, I've done everything I possibly can to unpack that and have been shifted into the bad guy who calls out forms of oppression and has done everything I possibly can to work against them. Which is not me saying that I'm a perfect person who doesn't get things wrong. But the fact is in this era where there is rampant, louder than ever I've ever seen in my life, anti-autistic ableism, I am constantly seeing neoliberal diversity inclusion rhetoric disregard every form of disability, including anti-autistic ableism. And I am seeing people do single, double, and triple issue activism that disregards the very real fact of anti-autistic ableism, especially the ways that it varies from autistic person to autistic person. Obviously, as we know, as any intersectional matrices of domination informed person knows, trauma informed person knows, these things are going to constantly compound and present differently in every single person that you come across who is autistic. We are not a hive mind. There is not a bunch of uniform autistic experiences that represent the whole. And yeah, all of our social locations will determine how we present. But the fact of the fucking matter is if you are a hyperlexic, stilted speaking person who has chosen to fully unmask and be your authentic self, and you have a level of education, your special interests became your research interests. You are now towing lines between being an oppressed person and being someone with immense privilege. And the fact is if you are going to pretend as if the anti-autistic discrimination does not exist, you are reinforcing systems of harm. There is no world in which you get to pretend as if autism is not a disability that affects our social and communication differences. There is no world in which you get to pretend as if autism is not a fucking disability that changes the way that people communicate, the way that they understand something, the way that that intersects with privileges and other forms of oppression. And you don't get to determine what is and isn't someone's authentic identity for them. That is fucking ridiculous. We don't get to go around weaponizing, pathologizing language and pretending as if anti-autistic discrimination does not exist, because it fucking does. And if you're going to go around calling yourself an intersectional person, you don't get to fucking disregard every disability, regardless of what someone's other forms of social marginality are. You don't get to disregard autism in this era where there is more attack on autistic people than arguably ever before in my lifetime, especially if you don't even wear a fucking mask. I can't say that enough. If you are disregarding disability writ large while going around claiming as if you are an advocate for intersectional scholarship and intersectional practice, you do not get to pretend as if disabilities are not a real fucking disenfranchisement.